Howdy, friend. Sam Houston here, hoping you're living in high cotton. And if you're lucky enough to be in Texas, I know you're most of the way there. Now enjoy your daily dose of Texas history and Texas pride.
Howdy, friend. Welcome back to the Feed Bandit podcast and your Texas history roundup for April 3rd. In 1836, the Texas schooner Invincible encountered Mexico's Montezuma, and after a brief engagement, the Montezuma grounded near the mouth of the Rio Grande and was abandoned. Later that day, the crew of the Invincible boarded the U.S. merchant ship Pocket, which is carrying supplies for General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, and took it to New Orleans. Upon reaching New Orleans, the crew of the Invincible was charged with piracy, but the charges were later dropped. This same day, General Sam Houston wrote to Secretary of War Thomas J. Rusk, quote, "You may rest easy at Harrisburg. The enemy will never cross the Brazos, and I hope the panic will soon subside." End quote. Well, he also proclaimed, quote, "All men are now required to join the army and do duty." End quote. He also enjoined his troops to protect private property, saying it was a soldier's duty to do so, but about the same time he requisitioned a superb gray stallion from a local plantation. Always hypocrisy in war. In 1847, on this Easter Eve, fires were supposedly set by Comanches on hilltops around Fredericksburg to communicate about the ongoing meetings between their chiefs and John O. Musback. Since then, the Easter Fires event has been held in Fredericksburg for children on the evening before Easter in anticipation of the Easter Bunny bringing colored eggs. The Musback Comanche meeting actually occurred a month earlier on March 1st and 2nd, and the ritual dates back many years to Germany. In 1888, Walter Prescott Webb was born in Panola County. After teaching history at UT Austin for years, he published the acclaimed The Great Plains in 1931, a new interpolation of the American West. For this work, UT Austin awarded him a doctoral degree. In 1939, he became director of the Texas State Historical Association and launched an Encyclopedia of Texas, which appeared in 1952 as the Handbook of Texas. That year, Webb also published his well-received The Great Frontier. He held honorary degrees from the University of Chicago, SMU, and Oxford University. Webb died in an automobile accident in Austin in 1963 and was buried in the Texas State Cemetery. A statue of Webb and his friends, J. Frank Dobie and Roy Bedicek, stands in Zilker Park in Austin. In 1941, Jeff Hamilton, Sam Houston's longtime personal bodyguard, died in Belton. Hamilton came to Texas from Kentucky in 1843. 10 years later, when he was 13 years of age, Houston purchased him. Houston later freed him, and he became Houston's personal bodyguard, serving the family until Houston and his wife passed away. He was present at essentially every event and function Houston, in which was evolved after the 1853 and later in life, was sought out for his associations with historical figures and events during his lifetime. He lived to the grand old age of 101. 2 historical markers in Belton honor him. In 1944, the U.S. Supreme Court in Smith v. Allwright ruled that blacks could not be barred from voting in Democratic primaries in Texas. The ruling was an 8-1 decision, and the main argument being that while the Texas Democratic Party was a private organization, it operated under the rules of the state. And in 1989, the verdict came down in Ruiz v. Estelle, a case filed 11 years earlier by inmates of the Texas prison system. Federal Judge William W. Justice, appropriate name, ruled that conditions of confinement violated the Eighth Amendment of the Constitution, which was prohibition of cruel and unusual punishment, and required state officials to reduce overcrowding, improve rehabilitation, provide recreational programs, and refrain from practices deemed detrimental to prisoners' safety and welfare. Extensive litigation followed this ruling, as administrators slowly adjusted to federal court orders. And in 2012, the Baylor University women's basketball team defeated Notre Dame to capture their second NCAA Division I championship. The tournament MVP was Brittany Griner, who later was arrested in Russia and traded for an arms dealer. In addition to being national champions, the team posted a perfect 40-0 season record. There's a lot behind that thing. All right. That, my friend, was your Texas History Roundup for April 3rd. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow on the next one. You take care.
Well, there you have it. If you like our podcast, check us out at feedbandit.com. There you'll find awesome Texas First outdoors gear and apparel. Your purchase helps support the Bandits and keeps this podcast on the air, fighting for you and for Texas. Remember, preserve the tradition, protect the legacy. Until next time.